Good evening, and welcome to A Grieving Mother's Journey, Leakland, where we air every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with open mic every third Sunday from 6:20 to 6:50 p.m. We bring grieving mothers together to share, trust, and bond with one another, and to spread awareness of the pain that is caused when others choose to take a life by violence, and the various struggles we face on a daily basis just to make it through the day. I hope that this will make those that are on that horrible path think twice and turn their lives around. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. Welcome to another episode of A Grieving Mother's Journey. We are on episode 29. We are doing open mic once again. It did say it was working. I don't think it's on the group page. I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. If it is, you guys kind of let me know in the comments if it's working. If not, I'll try to figure that out. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always catch us on YouTube. The UPC code, not UPC, the QR code for that is in the featured section on the group page, and it's also going on my personal page. So I do apologize. I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. I know it does have something to do with Facebook. They're really giving me a hard time trying to stream live or using a third-party app to bring this onto the group page. I will try again to get it working, but as of right now, it's just not working for me. So I do apologize. But again, like I said, you can always catch us on YouTube. So anyway, welcome everybody. It's been a little bit of time. It is open mic. It is a time for you to speak whatever's on your heart. I do have a few topics I want to talk about, but if you have something else, please feel free to chime in. Open mic is for you, so it's fine. Don't forget, you can always join us by calling in 571-409-3400. The number is scrolling at the bottom. And if you want to join us on the platform, just send me a quick email, maybe a DM. I'll see if I can get you on during the show. So anyway, happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. The topics that I'd like to discuss tonight, time allowed, is number one is, what do you remember about your angel's funeral? Was it foggy? Are there certain things you remember? Do you remember everything? Do you not remember anything at all? I'll share my take on that as well. The second thing is anxiety. Have you guys been experiencing anxiety lately, or the whole time? How bad is it? So forth and so on. Do you notice that it's even worse, like with your children, your living children, like you're constantly worried about where they are, what they're doing, is something going to happen to them? The third thing is did you return to work? And if so, how soon? How did that go for you? Or did you not return to work at all? Last but not least, we can't forget our siblings, you guys. Again, they hurt too. And we have to, make sure we always acknowledge them, even though it's just a little different, from a parent losing a child. They still hurt and they still grieve, just in a different way. So we have to keep them in mind and always remember that they hurt too. So this is really bothering me that I can't get this to work. Let me try something, because I really do want it to go on the group page. I know a lot of you have responded to this, the questions and things like that on the page. And I'm so sorry that it's not working. I'm on the page now. I don't really see anything. Oh, goodness. So let me see something, guys. Just bear with me just a minute. Let me see if I can get this going. Yeah, it said it was. All right, let me try this. Let me take this off. Let me add this and see if this will help. Okay. Go foil. Go foil. Let's try this. Can somebody go on my personal page and see if it's still working? And also check YouTube. Yeah, it's not. Okay. I know when I did the test, it seemed to be working fine. Let me try this. It's working on what? What about YouTube? Because it keeps saying that it is, and then it goes out. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. What page is that on? Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. So I have a few comments here. Markiva says, I find myself having anxiety after my mom passed away. When I go through rough stages of motherhood with my children, my mom was the one I go to about how to handle parenthood most of the time. And she's watching from the personal page. Thank you, Kiva. Hey, Julissa. Hey, Mama. And Crystal says YouTube works. Okay. And okay, Markiva. All right, guys. So, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this thing with the group page. But if y'all know me and you've been with me since day one, I'm going to figure it out. You just have to bear with me. In the meantime, head on over to YouTube so you can at least interact with this. So anyway, number one, and it may not go in order, but let's start with, what do you remember about your child's funeral? For me, it's really foggy, right? Even to this day, I remember certain things. But from beginning to end, I think I was like pretty numb. I do remember standing at the podium and talking about my son and looking out into where everybody was. And I remember making eye contact with my boss. And that was a very special moment for me because, number one, I had only been working with the company maybe a year before my son was murdered. And for her to just, come and show respects to someone she never met. She never met my son, didn't know anything about him, but she came and showed support anyway. That is something that I will never, ever, ever forget. That was amazing to me. And, when I looked up and saw her, it just kind of gave me a little bit of sense of peace. But not to take away from everyone that showed up. And, I'm so appreciative of everyone that did show up. I remember listening. I remember my niece Mika singing the song that was tough. It was really hard for her to sing that. And I actually wanted the song, Thanks for My Child, but she had to respectfully decline that, which I totally get it. That was really heavy. That's a really heavy song. So I appreciate her honesty, but she did manage to sing a song, one of hers that was written. It was amazing. I I do remember going outside a couple of times. Everybody was outside gathering before everything started. Family and friends were around, and um, I remember when they played the song, because the song I wanted was "Thanks for My Child" by Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and it was complete silence when they played that because the words mean so much. And I remember just losing it. I just kind of lost it for a minute. Got that cry that came out. And then the last thing I remember is there was somebody that showed up late, and her and her son came again. They still made it to show respects, but they showed up late. The casket was already closed, and I remember trying to go before they lowered his body for her and her son to say goodbye. But I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if they were not paying attention or what have you, but I just kind of walked away. That is the only things I remember. If any of you experienced that, or if you remembered everything or some of it, or if all of it was a total fog, feel free to call in and share that with us. The number is scrolling at the bottom. And while we wait for that, we're going to go ahead and move on to, we're going to go ahead and go with, did you return to work? And if so, how soon? Or did you not return to work at all? For me, I did go back to work 2 weeks later. Do I regret that? Somewhat, because it was a struggle. For 2.5 years, it was a struggle maintaining at work and trying to focus and, do what I was supposed to do without mistakes. However, because of my amazing boss and the unconditional support from the company that I worked with, it made it worth it. Granted, was it last Friday or so? As of the 3rd, I'm officially retired. I don't know how that's going to go. Been working since I was 15. I'm now 62. Yes, I'm going to put it out there. And, but I had to make that decision. And it took me about a year to really do that, because every time I said, you know what, I need to quit, I need to focus, but then I would always do, you know what, no, let me push a little more. And I did that so much till I just could not push anymore. And I had to say to myself, hey, Donna, enough is enough, and you have to focus on your mental and physical health. Now, who's to say, maybe in about a year, I might go back into the workplace. But as of right now, I am giving myself a year because I need to. I mean, my health was declining to the point, I was in the hospital twice, and not just hospital. I was in ICU. Things were bad. They were really bad. The anxiety was on 10,000, like to the 10th power. The depression, everything. It's just everything physically and mentally just hit me ever since he died. So, trying to work full time and focus at a job that's pretty stressful, along with dealing with my own self. I still have a special needs child at home, just everything. So I had to make that decision for me. And, it hasn't been that long. Again, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to make it without working, but I'm going to try. And I think at least the first 6 months, it's going to keep me busy because I'm focusing on me. My health, dental, everything. Like, I'm just gonna get myself together. I'm gonna try. So praise up for me, please, y'all. But yeah, I went back to work early because, during, the beginning stages of the loss of my son, of course, family, we were all together, this and that. But, life's, and people have to go back to work. And all I can think about was, okay, everyone's going to be at work all day. And it was dangerous for me to be at home with my thoughts alone. So it wasn't a good idea to just stay home. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, go back to work, try to keep my mind off things and focus. And it did help. It wears on you after a while when you're fighting a battle that no one else can fight for you. When it's a silent battle, especially when you're at work, you have to put that smile on, and you're dealing with people that can be extremely rude, feel extremely entitled. So, the thing of it is always remember that you never know what battle people are fighting. So regardless of who you are, where you work, any of that, always remember that, because when you approach somebody with an attitude of I'm entitled for this or that, or when you approach somebody at a job and you think that you can talk to them in your kind of way or do whatever you want or get whatever you want, just remember that somebody's always going through something way worse than you could ever fathom. So it's always best to be kind regardless. So that was my reasoning for going back to work. And again, I don't regret it, but I am glad that I have taken that step and decided that enough is enough and I'm coming first before everybody. So the other thing is, we're going to go ahead and, do you experience anxiety like with the other children? How many of you out there go through that worry like all the time? And it's kind of like, your kids aren't really doing anything they didn't do before, but even those things trigger like extreme anxiety, and you have to fight that, because especially if you have grown children, right, you have to kind of fight that and let them be them, let them continue to grow. But it's a fight mentally that anybody that hasn't lost a child, you're never going to get it. So I'd love to hear from somebody, of anybody that's experienced any of these topics that I have just put out there. And then last but not least, siblings, how are you doing? I know we've done a couple of episodes on that, and we do have a call. Let me go ahead and take this call one moment. Thank you for calling the Grieving Mothers. Who am I speaking with?
Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, how are you, friend? You sound so much better.
I feel a lot better.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you got through it.
I finally got up yesterday and done a little cleaning and everything. And
yeah.
Got up this morning. I felt a little bit weak, but everything. But I did go to the store, grocery store, and
awesome.
Everything. So
I'm so glad to hear your voice. I was worried about you, but I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm good.
Cheers to you.
Okay, you.
So what's going on?
Well, got good news.
Let me hear it.
Yes, my son Casey is back in rehab. He's been there since Tuesday.
Awesome.
And it's supposed to be a 30-day program, so hopefully he's going to stay. He hasn't called anybody.
Okay.
So I think what he wants is really just to do this, not talking to anybody right now.
Yeah, well, that's okay, right? He's on his way to recovery, and that's what matters.
Yep. And I believe it all stems down to his brother passed away, because Casey never really properly grieved, I don't think, and everything. And it was really hard. It was really hard on all of them. But
I'm sure.
Casey, I really believe he just kind of held it in and, like, no, it didn't happen and everything. But the day he went in the hospital, he was on the phone with the doctor, and his little 4-year-old came in my room, and she said, Grandma, she said, Daddy's crying. Said his brother died.
Oh.
And I was like, huh? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, his brother died. I said, oh, yes, 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 honey. I said, he did die. I said, he's been gone for almost 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But Daddy's brother died. He's crying. And
Oh.
she's not here she's not with him all the time
Uh-huh.
and everything because she lives in Nashville. And, but she'd been here, for the holidays and stuff. So she really don't hear much about it. She Casey don't talk about him
Oh,
and
right, right.
everything. But apparently he broke down with the doctor and was telling him and everything. And I told Casey, I said, look, buddy, I said, I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I said, you need to talk about your brother. You need to
Absolutely.
get it out,
Absolutely. I agree
and everything.
100%. So that's
Cause,
probably what was kind of keeping him, in that dark place.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he had one death right after the other of friends after after Todd and everything. It was one right after the other. Two girls that he had been talking to. One had shot herself, and then
Ooh-wee.
one had the other one he was talking to the last. She OD'd and everything, and I think it just plus other friends that he went to school
Right.
with, grew up with, and stuff. It's like one right after the other. Everything. I think it all just kept piling up on him, and he just kept drinking to drink it away.
Wow.
Drink them feelings away. But
Well, I am so
I'm
happy
proud
to
to say he's in
hear.
there now.
Yes, that is so good, Deborah. I know
Yes,
you are so happy
yes,
about
yeah.
that. And
It's
and listen, we're going to keep him in prayer. Everybody out there, please, lift Deborah and her
yes.
son in prayer. Let's pray that he will continue to stay there and kick that nasty habit and
Yep,
yes, and just, heal from head to
because
toe.
'cause he is absolutely one of the sweetest, most laid back people you could ever meet
Yeah.
and everything. He loves life, but just life is dealt him some crappy cards like
Yeah.
it has all of us.
Well, that's okay.
Some
He's
of us handle it
overcoming it.
better than others.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
And
Keep us posted, will you?
I will.
And
I
just let him
will.
know. I mean, I don't know him, he doesn't know me, but let him know I'm keeping him in prayer and let him know he's got this. Tell him I said he's got this.
Yes,
Yeah.
I certainly will.
Awesome.
And as far as work goes, after Todd's death, I wasn't working. I was, I was taking care of my brother, but he was actually in a nursing home at the time that
Right.
Todd had passed.
Right.
And after Todd passed, it was like he always tried to get me to get out of the house because I stayed in the house all the time, didn't go anywhere for
Yeah.
years. And he's always, Mom, you need to get out. You need to get out. I said, I will at some point in time. I'll get out and everything. Then after he passed, I promised right then. I said, I'm going to get out and do more stuff. I'm going to get out and start living my life
Right.
and everything. And boom, COVID hit a week later.
Lovely COVID.
Yeah, so that kind of stuck me in it. I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna bring Roger back home, my brother, and everything, because I couldn't just sit.
Right.
So I brought him back home and took care of him for the remainder of his life, and
Yeah.
everything, and until last year. Then after he passed, I was like, I sat here for 2 weeks, and I was like, I can't do this.
Mm.
I've got to get a job. I've got to do something outside of this house. And I've been working ever since, part
Yeah.
time,
Good for
sitting with a
you.
lady
Good for
for
you.
over a year now. And everything. And it does, it helps to get back to work. It helps to get out of the house,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
does.
to do things with friends or family and everything instead of sit because you sit and dwell on it,
Yep.
you're going to go into more of a depression than
Exactly.
you ever was.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I said, I can't, I'm just, it's 2 weeks fresh, and I
Yeah,
probably shouldn't have, but at the same time I had to, um, because I didn't.
I
I
don't
would
blame
have.
you.
Yeah, it would have been, I think, like really bad. If I hadn't, with everyone else going back to work and just kind of being alone with my own thoughts. That just
Yeah,
was not a
yeah,
good idea.
yeah. Because it's not putting them aside. It's not trying to forget them.
Right.
It's keeping your health, keeping yourself healthy.
Yeah, and keeping yourself safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your mind occupied and everything. Because
Yeah.
we think about our kids 24/7
Yeah, egg
and everything. Of
365.
course, yep, all done.
Yes, indeed.
But sometimes it helps to be around others, and there is times and it helps a whole lot not to be around anybody.
Yeah.
And just put you some music on and say, okay.
I know that's right.
But,
Well, I'm gonna read a couple of comments I have.
okay.
Deb 19631 says, "Hey Donna,
That was
hello."
me.
Oh, that was
That's me.
you. Okay, because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, who is that? Well,
Yeah.
hey.
Hi.
And Mokiva says, "I'm happy you're putting your health and mental health first. Thank you, Kiva." And Kay says, "Amen to his recovery, Deborah. That's amazing."
Yes.
And then Kay says, "And Mom, I have to agree that the anxiety is 10 times worse after Leek's passing. It really is. If I don't get a
Yeah.
response to a call or text after a few hours from my other siblings, oh, whoo, child, listen, let me finish. I panic and mind starts thinking a million different things. Nail on the head, right there. You hit the
Yep.
nail on the head, because that's what happens, not just to siblings, but to moms. It's like, you don't get a response. You try to wait a little bit. You don't want to be like, freaking out. But then after a while, it's like, okay. And then everything, your mind's everywhere, like 20 different directions. You're thinking the worst. And
Oh, yeah.
it's excruciating, that anxiety.
But I'll tell you the truth. For, I know, at least 3 years, and I still do it occasionally. I'll wake up in the morning and I have to see everybody that's in my household. I have to personally see that they're still here,
Yeah.
with us
Right.
before a knot will go away in my stomach.
Yep. Yep.
And it don't come as often now as it used to. It was every single day.
Oh,
I had to go to everybody's room and make sure that everybody was there. Now, it
yeah.
wasn't so much as my children that didn't live here, because I knew if anything, I'd get a phone call. But it was the people that was in the house. I had to
Okay.
physically see them and hear their voice. And after I heard everybody's voice and see them, I was fine for
Yeah.
the rest of the day. But that went on for, I know, at least first 3 years and everything. And that was excruciating.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah. And I still go through that. But, it's coming up on 3 years for me. It'll be 3 years in May. But yeah, that's it. The thing of it is that just it disturbs your sleep.
Oh, yes.
So now you're dealing with the anxiety of, are my other kids okay? What if something happens to my other kids? Things like that.
Yep.
Now on top of that, you're sleep deprived.
Yep.
And that's not good for anxiety, depression, any of that, or for your health for that matter.
Nope, not at
So
all.
everything is so compounded, just by those thoughts. And I still try. I try every day to work through that. But it's times like, perfect example, my admin, Kay, she went on a boat trip. I was a wreck.
Oh,
I was a wreck. I didn't let her know that because I did not want to spoil her fun. But boy, when I tell you, the whole time I'm like, oh my God, is someone going to kidnap her? And, it's crazy, just crazy thoughts, but yeah.
I'll be all right. But I will get off here and let you see if you could chat with see if somebody
All
else wants to
right.
get on here
Well,
and
thank you,
everything.
Deborah. I
And I
appreciate you
seen your
calling
sweet
in.
little son in there a while ago. Tell him I
Yeah.
said hello.
Oh,
He can
hey,
stick his head
buddy.
in there.
Deborah's like, hello. I seen her. Yeah, I have my entourage with me tonight.
Yeah.
What Deborah wanted to say. Hey.
Oh, there it
Hold
comes.
on, is this thing working?
I can hear him.
Oh, hold on.
This thing
No,
working?
it's not plugged in. I didn't plug it in again. Sorry.
Hold on.
He's so sweet.
Can y'all hear me clear in the mic?
Yes.
It's this one, Moody.
All right, so couple things. Look, I'm cooking y'all again, so I can't be like too long, but I do want to say a couple things. Miss Deborah, how you doing? I can't see you.
She's not
I'm
on the
doing good.
platform.
Yeah,
She
I'm
called
not.
in
I'm
tonight.
not on
Okay,
platform.
how you doing, Miss Deborah?
I'm doing good.
But yeah, so about the funeral thing. So for me, I remember everything from my brother's funeral, from like the beginning to the end. And just to put it out there, I was not the one that was late. But yeah, I remember everything. I remember all of my emotions. I remember all my thoughts. I remember not supposed to be getting on the stand to speak, and then I ended up doing it anyway because I ended up busting out in tears, and I felt like I had to. The peer pressure was getting the best of me, and I probably wouldn't have let it go because I already don't let it go. You know, I still, all of you who've been following the show and be keeping up with everything when I get on here, you guys know that I have this tendency to blame myself for the death. So if I didn't get up on the stand then I probably wouldn't be here today. So, you know, I remember everything I said, down to the memories that me and him shared together. I remember watching the photos that were put up and remember seeing who was in what pictures. I remember seeing people's faces that I liked, people's faces that I didn't like. I remember like my feelings that day. It was like, if I could put it all into a summary, I know it was supposed to be a sad moment and a grieving moment, but the main thing that I felt that day was it was anger, but at the same time, it was like anger.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain it. Like, you know, it was like angry because she's not here. Then it was like angry because we had to go through it. And then I was angry at myself because the day that he passed away, I was the last person he talked to. I remember being angry at the people that I told you guys I didn't like was there. I was trying to figure out why they were there, but then I had to remember it wasn't about me. It was about him, even though I didn't like them. You know, he did. So I had to suck that up my chest, and I hated that. I remember, like my mom said, I remember my cousin singing, and then it was like when she started singing, it just gave everybody the cue to start crying. And that's what I remember. I remember literally seeing her sing, and I literally remember turning my head, doing a whole 360 around the building, and seeing like literally everybody crying.
It was so touching.
Yeah,
it
was
such an awesome
I remember
job.
that. I remember me, my brother, my sister, and my mom, and my little sister walking up to the casket. I remember all of us looking down at him one last time, touching him, saying our last words before they closed the casket. I remember my outfit. You know, because I had a leak shirt on. We all did that day. I remember my hairstyle. I remember, you know, that day, when I think about the day, it's like, you know, I try to stay positive about it, but I don't try to think about the day because that was the maddest day since he passed. I go to court and stuff and I get mad and stuff like that when I have to hear the things I hear in court, but that was the day I can probably say I was the maddest because I had to watch his body lay in a casket.
Yeah.
So that probably made me the maddest ever since he passed away. Going back to work, you guys see I still go to work. You know, I go to work, but I do struggle, which is why I went to therapy and I finished it. I made it through. I still do therapy, but I only have to do it once a month now versus going 3 times a week for 3 hours.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
it's a lot, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it works. I still read my packets. I had to read my packet a couple of days ago for module 1, just, you know, to get me by and get me through the little mental episode that I was going through. And it worked, you know, for the most part. I made it through the whole packet And after that, I felt better. I went on about my day, and I just kept it positive. But other topics, I don't really remember. But yeah, keep calling because I see somebody's calling right now. So I'm gonna go back to my lobster tails and my crab legs.
Oh,
and yeah, I'll be back. I'm in the building, so just shout out for Moody.
Someone's calling.
Go ahead.
Okay, Moody, I'll let you go.
Oh, no one's calling because Deborah's still on the line.
Oh.
Okay, Deborah. Thank you so much for calling. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, Deborah.
Thank you, Dad.
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Was someone beeping in, Moody? I didn't hear. Oh. All right, guys. We have some more comments. Oh, Crystal says, I'm so happy for you, Deborah. Keep smiling. Kay says, if you're still listening, Deborah, it's safe to say Moody is Miss Deborah's favorite. And then Julissa says, hi, Poppy. You look great. Very proud of you. Oh, goodness. So anyway, would anyone in my entourage like to speak on any of the subjects? Huh? This is open mic. It's
No,
I
remember you said the child losing a child and the anxiety.
no, speaking of anxiety anyway, regardless, like Keandra came on, she spoke about her anxiety. She has anxiety too. The difference is she worries about her siblings. I worry about her siblings, my kids. Okay, so I'm gonna hand the mic over to Kiva, Mocha, Mokiva, whatever y'all want to call her. Hold on 1 minute, guys. I'm gonna let you sit here. Let me get up. You get to sit in the chair.
Get to sit in front of Lee.
So cool. I can watch my
As far as the anxiety, as far as like losing a loved one, as a parent, like I have anxiety about my sisters and my grandmother. After my mom passed, of course, I want to know the whereabouts of my grandmother and my 3 sisters, what they're doing. Like if they go, like my sister Ronnie, for example, she lives in Kansas, and hey sis, and once she moved to Kansas, I still have her location and all, even though I can't just jump up and go to her if something was to happen. But when the nights that she will call me and say she's going out, yeah, I want to know your whereabouts. I want to know what club you're going to with your friends. I want to know who you're with, who you're riding with. Yeah, KK. Yeah, KK. How you be on Moody's tail? Yeah, I'm on my sister's tail. Like my older sister, she works and her transportation is pretty much like catching a bus or catching an Uber or Lyft after work. And with her working at a casino, she's bound to get off at wee hours of the night. So I stay on top of that. So as far as like the anxiety of me losing a parent, the immediate connections I have of my mom, that's a part of my mom, is my grandmother and my sisters. And of course, like my niece and nephew and stuff like that. But having anxiety, like her funeral, it was a blur, but at the same time, I remember everything. There was people there that my mom didn't like and didn't like her secretly. And
I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, Moody was there. But there was a lot of people, like a couple people there that I was just wanted to be on the mic while I was saying what I was saying. Like, why are you here? You can exit. Like, there was a lot of people there that I didn't like, and my mom didn't like, and didn't like my mom. But as far as the anxiety, like I commented earlier, being a mom, that was the first person that I ran to when I needed advice or I needed somebody to tell me what I should do type thing. But anxiety overall of losing a loved one, it's real. It's very real. Hey Diamond, do you want to say anything? No, not yet. Too soon. Okay. Love you. yeah, but Deb, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I'm praying for your son as well. I heard earlier. I was, in the live. I'm praying for you and your son. I hope everything turns out great. KK, love you, girl. All right, guys. Bye bye.
Awesome. I do need to hook up the other microphone. I'll get that done, guys. Thank you, Mocha.
Of course. I gotta say.
And Deborah says thank you. Oh, and Kay says love you. Kay also says yes. Now we need locations and life updates on the regular. Absolutely, 100%. I totally agree with that. Which reminds me of something my son said about the locations. And it kind of eats me up a little bit because that should have been a sign for me, and I didn't listen. But so my son was always asking to change his phone number. He would tell me, I guess girlfriends or whatever, can we change the number? And of course, it costs money to do that. I think he had his number changed like 4 or 5 times. So before he passed, he had come to me again. And he said, if y'all wondering what that noise is, it's Moody with the foil. So he'd come to me and, he said, Mama, he was like, can I change my phone number? He was like, one more time. He was like, I promise this will be the last time, blase, blase. And I was like, Malik, I said, okay, one last time. I said, I can't do it right now because it costs to do that, but next payday. And he immediately said, okay, Mama. He's like, I'm turning on my location. Now, this is the first time I've shared that. Why that wasn't a trigger for me, I couldn't tell you. I should have pulled my son aside and say, hey, wait a minute. Why do you feel the need to put your location on? So that pretty much tells me that whoever he was speaking with, I don't know if they threatened his life or what was going on. Can't wait to get his phone back because I'm going to find out. But something went on prior to that, and there was an urgent need for him to change his phone number. But yeah, when he said that, it kind of like, and I guess it's because I was so used to him always doing that. He would make it seem like, his girlfriend at the time or ex-girlfriend, so I'm thinking, okay, you guys are at it again. That's what I'm thinking. But apparently that's not what it was. So, and speaking of getting the phone back, is there anyone out there that has already gone through the trial and everything, and you received all your son's things back? I want to know how long it takes. I do know that we have the last sentencing coming up in April. And I believe that the adult that was already sentenced, I believe it's like you have 60 days to do an appeal. It's been past that. So if he did, he's not going to get it. I mean, it was an airtight case. You're not getting an appeal. So I'm hoping that after the last sentencing in April, which will be the second juvenile, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get all my son's things back. Not to mention they have my computer they've had forever. So if there's anyone out there that has been through that, let me know how long it took. And if you got everything back, I know I've been staying on top of that because I have the whole list from the, what do you call it? When they get with the warrant, everything's listed on there. And I want everything back. And I've already told the Commonwealth, I want it down to the empty candy wrapper in his pocket. Don't play with me. But no, it's kind of, his phone, and he had a set of AirPods. I have one, and the other one they have, things like that. I do want it back. So anyway, it is 6:45. Last call if you want to call in and share anything of the topic. So even if it's off topic, again, this is open mic, so you can feel free to share whatever you'd like to share. And while we're waiting, next couple of minutes, I do want to announce, again, I'm always looking for guests who want to share their story. And just remember, it's not about, people being nosy, so forth and so on. Sharing your story is therapeutic. And I can tell you, I can't wait to share my son's story. I know I've shared like bits and pieces, but again, we're still everything is complete, but not 100% yet. So I have to be careful. But, I do want to share. It's going to be quite a few segments because I'm going to start from kind of the beginning. For people that didn't know my son, I do want to share, the person that he was, the things that he went through as a young child, all the way up through the time of his death. So, feel free to join in and just listen. I can't wait to share that joy about my son. Anyway, it is open mic. We normally go to 7 p.m., when I have a guest, but I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close. If no one's going to call in, 571-409-3400. Feel free to call in. And, if there's something you want to share, the email is scrolling at the bottom as well. Feel free to email me at any time. That phone number is available 24/7. If you need to call, if you want to talk or, anything like that, I'm here for you. And I appreciate everybody that has joined the group and participated in the group. Oh, and hold on, because Moody has one more thing to say. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. I just really wanted to say this one time before we do sign out. So one thing I noticed, right, when people lose people, I don't know how much you guys are into music and all of that, but I do know that it's like people make it mandatory that when you lose a loved one, you have to post on social media about it. And if you don't post about it, then you weren't really there for the person that was lost. And on the other hand, you got people that make it negative to say, well, don't post about the loved one because it makes friction cause, because you get people that lost the loved ones and then they feel bad if they don't post, but then if they do post, it causes problems because other people who really weren't close to that person that was lost feel like they need to do it out of respect. But then the people that are hurting and going through the grief, it kind of triggers the anger emotions and the negative things, and it causes friction. So I just really wanted to say that when you lose a loved person, it is not a requirement. That loved person is a loved person for a reason. That doesn't mean you have to go on social media and you have to post about it. You don't have to tell people RIP or rest in heaven, such and such. You don't have to. Now you do it, yeah, as a grieving method, and you do it as a therapeutic method, yeah. But I want y'all to also remember that when you guys are going through that, there will be some negative consequences that comes with that. Just keep in mind you can do it, but I say that to say you're gonna get pissed off, basically. So you're gonna post about it, like, because me and my family do it all the time. We always post about Lee.
Yeah,
and we get them people that we know aren't really cool with him, and that's why I'm saying it now. Like,
too bad.
Yeah, don't feel like you have to.
Long live Leak. If you don't like it, don't look.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so don't feel like you have to say anything just because you knew the person that passed away. You don't. The people that are posting him because we're saying, we lost our loved one, or you guys lost your loved ones. That doesn't mean that just because you knew him from walking down the street, or just because you knew him from seeing him in the hallway, that don't mean you have to post. You don't have to do that. It's not a requirement. You are not required to do that. The people that are required to do that out of their freedom and emotion is the people who lost a loved one. And that goes for me too. I still see people dying every day on my social media. And even though I know them, I know how I felt when people were posting about my brother. And I know you don't really know my brother, so why are you posting about my brother? So when I see it, I just, I love it. I might leave a comment, say sorry for your loss or whatever, and keep it moving. That don't mean you go repost the post you know what I mean, on your social media. Don't do that. It just causes friction and it causes problems and then it causes more emotions. You know, it triggers a lot of things that people are trying to go through while they're trying to grieve through the loss. So
Well, I have two things on that. I just kind of want to interject a little bit. So there's two things with that. One, it could be if you're posting and you didn't know somebody, but you didn't do them dirty and you're posting out of respect. That's different. But you know, sometimes now, oh no, you could, oh, I was just introduction so you could finish. But you know, sometimes some people do it to be funny, you know, or to make themselves look good. So basically what I'm trying to say, if you didn't mess with my son, I better not see no kind of post from you ever.
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You're not required. If you didn't lose that loved one just because you knew him a little bit, you're not required.
If you're doing it out of respect because maybe you knew him, but you didn't do him dirty, that's different. I appreciate that. But if you know that you were foul out in the streets when my son was here, better not, because now you're being disrespectful at that point. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Mm-hmm. And Crystal, if you're still watching, you can go ahead and bring the kebabs over now because the fire's about to go out. But yeah. P.S. Leak land and Moody signing out.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, y'all. Well, it's a little early. Thank you, Kay. She says, great show as always. Thank you. And by the way, guys, now that I am retired, I'm going to dedicate more time. So I'll be here in a little more. Why are you hiding over there in the cut? Come on over here, son.
I mean, the comments. I'm there for side.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate you for participating. I appreciate you for being a part of a group that no one really wants to be a part of, but we're here and we're going to continue to be here for one another, uplift one another, provide healthy advice. And again, last but not least, if there's something that you want to talk about, if you know something that you would like us to talk about, feel free, put it on the page. You know, we'll make it happen. Just like I said before, a long ways back, we had someone that said, hey, you know what? I'd like to hear about forgiveness. Well, guess what? Dr. Dia came on and she did her thing. And it was an amazing episode. So feel free. Again, I might be the creator of this group, but this is our group. Okay. So feel free. And Kiva says, Leetland, long live Nikita. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining. We're going to go ahead and close up. About to get into this crab boil with some lobster and some crab legs and some beef kielbasa and some corn and potatoes.
It's some egg, some boiled eggs.
And some boiled eggs. Yes, sir. Can't forget that. And cabbage. All right, y'all. So thank you again for joining. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night, okay? Bye-bye.